All right, hey everybody, nerds drink whiskey, and we're sitting here still at Proof, and we're standing in front of Uli's famous sausage. So, sir,
Uli's famous sausage.
Uli's famous sausage.
You know.
Well, my wife's can't part German, so she'll probably beat me up later if I don't do it right.
Correct, I would say though. Yeah, better pull his ears.
So we're about ready to try your Uli's famous sausage. What whiskey would you best recommend to go with your sausage?
We use a bourbon whiskey from Heritage Distillery. We put that in there, like 50 grams per kilo, but we're not going to go deeper in there. We also try it before we put it in there, so we know it's good whiskey. That's the important thing. You can't just put it in there. And then
is it a little for the sausage maker, a little for the sausage, a little for the back and forth?
That's how it goes. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
I agree. All right, let's try this.
And we have the bourbon sauce. It's just with that caramel bourbon. What they have, it tastes like cinnamon bun. We mix that with the sauce and a little bit of butter. Perfect. Has a little sweet taste to it.
So, sir, is this sausage or is this candy?
Both.
Exactly.
Sweeter sausage, but without sugar.
Now, what makes the sausage so sweet?
The bourbon, what we put in there, that cinnamon thing, they have a specialty brand, one of the 3 they gave us.
Brown sugar bourbon.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Pretty nice stuff.
And it goes well with your sausage. Okay. Now, it goes well with me as well. Where can people pick up your product?
Oh, we have a place in the Pike Place Market. That's our home base. Okay. And then we ventured all over the place. The best thing is to look it up our homepage. There you can find where we sell.
Excellent. Well, I think I might have to have that with my breakfast in the near future.
You can. And take a picture of those, and then you know how to make that sauce.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for speaking with us today. Now, before we go, the final question we ask from people is, what is the most nerdy thing about you?
Me? My accent.
I'll take it, sir. All right. Thank you for speaking with us.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you. Wunderbar.
Yeah, wunderbar. Come home safe. Get home safe.
Okay, everybody. This is Nerds Drink Whiskey. We are speaking with 2 Bar Spirits, and this is describe what we're about to drink, sir.
So this is our bourbon. This is our flagship product. It's a really heavily malted bourbon. It's about 60% corn, about 15% wheat, and then 4 different malted barleys. So really complex. A long fermentation, almost 2 weeks, and it's a big, complex, interesting bourbon. Not like any other bourbons that you're really going to try around.
Okay. Now, a bourbon is typically 2 years in the barrel. How long did you guys have yours in?
This particular bottling is barrels between 18 and 26 months, so right around 2 years. We will be releasing a full straight a little later this year, but this one is between 18 and 26, but those are small barrels. Some of these barrels are 15 gallons, some of them are 30. Nothing's over 30.
Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to try it.
Unfortunately, this is closed on Sunday. It's Saturdays. I'm down there for a baseball game or a Sounders game.
It'll sit on your palate for a while. There's a lot going on. It'll sit there and change. Really complex.
It has. It's like a multi-stage rocket. It
Definitely
comes in, punches you, walks away, punches you again, and then leaves your tongue feeling a little battered.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. We're bottling at 100 proof, so that's part of it. It's a little hot. And it's...
This is 100 proof.
This is 100 proof.
That explains a bit.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
What's your thought?
Yeah, it comes on strong and it just keeps building. It's really good and it lingers a while and now it's almost gone. Just after that sip, it just drops off like really quick after it lingers a while. So really good.
Okay. Now, where can people find your product?
We're in most of the major liquor stores around town. We're distributed by Venom, so we're around town. You can always come in to our distillery. We're on South 4th Avenue South, just a couple blocks north of the West Seattle Bridge. And our vodka is actually in Trader Joe's in Washington as well. So if you're looking for a nice, flavorful vodka, we can get that in Trader Joe's. I know.
I don't know. What
I know.
is this strange drink you're talking?
I'm sorry.
Using vulgarities on our show.
You might be interested to know that we have discontinued the vodka. We're not making it anymore.
Whiskey. So, all right. Now the final question of our interview is, what is the nerdiest thing about you?
What's the nerdiest thing about me? I don't know. I drink a lot of whiskey.
You're just really nerdy about whiskey.
Does that count? I'm pretty nerdy about whiskey. Yeah.
All right. We'll take that. Yeah. All right. Well, this is any final words to the Nerds Drink Whiskey viewers?
Continue to be nerds and drink whiskey.
I like that. See you back with another.
And that's an awesome Thundercat shirt.
My wife has a really awesome Thundercat shirt, but nobody nobody's yet recognized my shirt yet. I'm still waiting. See you again.
Brown coats, dude. Brown coats unite. I'm with you.
Oh yeah, you had to have a hint.
I got that.
All right. See you again with another distiller at Proof of Washington. Nerds Drink Whiskey. All right, hey everybody, Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're still at Proof of Washington, and we are speaking with Bluebird Ice Cream about whiskey pairing. So, Bluebird Ice Cream, what kind of whiskey do you think pairs best with Bluebird Ice Cream?
You know, I don't know what pairs best, but ice cream is a great way to cut the whiskey. If you want to take a little break, the dairy sweetness will cut right through. So, it really, I would say whiskey du jour. Pick your own. You can't really go wrong. Ice cream would be a good cutter.
So, what you're trying to say is you need to do more experimenting.
I would say a smart way to do it would be to try a lot, and you can't go wrong. I would advise that, yes. Bluebird ice cream is really what you want. You want to buy as much Bluebird ice cream as possible to do this, of course. That's what I'd recommend, yes.
Okay. All right. Now, what would you say? What have you ever tried pairing Bluebird with any different kinds of whiskeys yourself?
I have not. I am the ice cream guy, not the whiskey guy. But I have heard from people who buy pints and say, "Hey, we're going back to the house for this." So you're not alone. You're fighting the good fight because there's others with you too.
Okay. And where can people find Bluebird Ice Cream?
Glad you asked. We have 3 stores in Seattle: Pike Street, Fremont, a few blocks from here, and Finney Ridge as well.
Okay. Any chances you guys will be expanding to Olympia area?
So maybe not to Olympia, but we're always little by little growing. So look for us for sure. We love it down in Olympia, so maybe one day we'll see you down there.
Okay. You have any questions for Bluebird?
Bring on the ice cream. That's all I can say, man.
All right. So we're gonna get served up a little bit of ice cream, and while we eat the ice cream, we're gonna hit this guy with the final question. We're gonna see if he did his homework, and he already knew we were coming. So does he know the final question?
I don't know the final question.
All right, serve up the ice cream, and I'll give you the final question.
So we're doing some pairings, but we're doing 2 ice creams we have. Our standard vanilla bean ice cream, really gourmet. It's made with real vanilla beans. That would be an excellent pairing for whiskey. It's a good place to start. So we've got a scoop of our homemade vanilla bean ice cream here. And then one of our favorite summer treats, we've got strawberries and cream here as well. So there's that. Did you guys BYOW here, or how are we going to do this?
Do what now?
Okay, you drank your last whiskey.
Yes.
We still have it lingering on our tongue.
Right. So I think since I have the Firefly shirt, I'll take the strawberry. And if people don't get that reference, they should just go watch the show again. And all right, so while we try your ice cream, we want you to answer. What is the nerdiest thing about you?
The nerdiest...
Hold the mic.
Okay, the nerdiest thing about me, I think if I answer this question, you'd get a filtered answer. We should ask the girls here, what is the nerdiest thing about me?
Your knowledge of 1990s NBA trivia facts.
It's true. I know a lot about 1990s NBA. It's a secret shame and pride at the same time. What is the nerdiest thing about me?
That you can recite all the Home Alone movies verbatim.
Yes, I know every word to Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. It doesn't have to be Christmas to watch that movie. It's a classic.
Those were extremely nerdy answers. I think you just answered this in the best way possible.
Cheers.
Yes. All right. So Bluebird Ice Cream, Pair it with whatever whiskey you can find, and then post on their Facebook page what your findings are, I think. All right. See you in a bit hopefully with Bad Dog Distillery, but gosh, they look busy. All right, hey everybody, Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're sitting here in front of Bad Dog Distillery, and we're about ready to have their Bad Dog Distillery whiskey. And why don't you explain to us what we're about to partake of?
Well, this whiskey we have is just our base is Grandpa's Liquor, and that's basically what it's made out of. It's aged in the oak barrels, of course, for 5 to 6 months, and there's your product.
Okay. What's the mash bill?
It's about 78% corn, and the rest is barley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a very sweet whiskey.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Okay. Yeah, 70%. What's the proof on this?
90.
Okay, yeah, 90 proof, 70% corn.
Yeah, 80s for wussies.
That's right.
80s for wussies.
Okay. Now the final question. I think despite it being 90, it was because of the corn. It was pretty mild throughout the whole thing. The taste, the finish, the mouthfeel.
This particular whiskey you guys drank is coming out of that pot still back there. I've had to build that by hand. It's ran by a boiler, but it's not a boiler anymore. It's 100% liquefied boiler, so it's not burning the sugars. The sugars aren't turning into caramels, so what you're drinking there is you got sugars in there too. Natural sugars.
Excellent, excellent.
Picking up caramel from the barrel.
Excellent. Now the final question that we ask in every interview, or if we remember, is what is the nerdiest thing about you?
The dirtiest thing about me? Nerdy.
Nerds.
Nerds. I think it's my underwear, my off colors in my underwear.
All right, that is the most entertaining answer I think we've had today. All right, thank you very much for your time.
You guys have a good night.
You as well. All right, everybody, Nerds Drink Whiskey. We are sitting with ChocMo, Chocolate Bistro, and we are at Proof of Washington. How many whiskeys have I had today? Okay, so we've still got a little bit of Bad Dog Distillery with us. What would you say pairs best with Bad Dog Distillery whiskey?
Which whiskey is it that you're...
They're actual whiskeys.
Oh, their actual whiskey? I would definitely try our beef. So, yes, we raise the beef ourselves. We have a ranch up in Kingston, Washington. We have 60 head of cattle.
And you run a chocolate bistro.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Multifaceted, talented. Okay, so we're going to try one of these then?
And it's done with a pistachio cream cheese and then topped with some of our round roast. I have round from our own Black Angus cows. And then on top of that is a little bit of pickled pepper.
Excellent. Now let's see how well this pairs with Bad Dog. Again, the food improves the whiskey. So now, what do you think it is about food that mixes the chemicals? What do you think it is that makes food pairing such a confusing science for some, but yet some people seem to get it right away?
I think it really just kind of depends on your palate and kind of understanding how different flavors work together, and we really designed this little bite of beef to really pair with whiskey and bring out kind of some of those interesting and smoky notes, and then the cocktail that we did in particular with that.
Okay. Now you also have chocolate here. What do you think? What whiskey would you recommend with your chocolate?
So with this particular chocolate, we actually did it with C.A.W Distillery with their bourbon. So we actually made the caramel itself that's inside the chocolate there with the C.A.W bourbon. So that would definitely be the one that I would pair with that.
All right, cool. Now the final question of every interview, and you can decide who wants to answer it. What is the nerdiest thing about you?
We nerd out on food and drinks. It's just what we do for fun.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for them?
No, this is amazing. I love the almond cream cheese. That was just perfect. And I'm about to take this, and we'll top it off. Great stuff, guys. Thank you.
All right. See you again with some more at Proof Washington and Nerds Drink Whiskey. All right, we are sitting here with Black Heron Spirits, and we're going to try their bourbon whiskey, I believe.
Bourbon whiskey.
And what can you tell us about this?
The bourbon whiskey is distilled from corn, rye, and barley, aged about 2.5 years, made in West Richland, Washington.
Okay.
80 proof.
All right, 80 proof, okay.
And it's the finest bourbon you'll try.
You said this is 80 proof? Has a little more kick than I'd expect from 80 proof.
Yeah, it starts off, the first taste is like really mellow, and then it just builds tremendously really quickly. It does. By the end, you're like, wow,
It's got a very strong finish.
Yeah, very strong finish.
Now, what would you say? Is there an explanation for that slow build and big finish?
I think it has to do with the aging process in Tri-Cities. We have a very hot climate, and that hot climate expands that alcohol, pushes it into the wood, brings it back out at night, and repeat that cycle, and that's the secret.
Okay.
And we have fine water in West Richland.
Okay. And the final question of every interview: what is the most nerdiest thing about you?
Nerdiest thing about me? I would better ask her. I don't know.
No idea? All right. I think we've outed another non-nerd. But he's got good whiskey, so it's okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, hey everybody, Nerds Drink Whiskey. We are sitting here still at Proof of Washington, and there is so much to explore here. If you missed out on this, it's a little crazy, it's a little insane, kind of like Comic-Con for adult beverages, but there's also a lot of great food, and we're sitting here with, I'm going to have you pronounce the name of your company.
Northwest Bierhaus Jerky.
Just Bierhaus.
It's a German thing. Bierhaus.
Bierhaus. All right. So, all right, and we're about to sample your stuff. First off, what kind of whiskey would you recommend most for your jerky? What pairs with your jerky best? Would you say a bourbon, single malt, a rye? What would you say pairs best?
That's a good question. I think almost damn near every one of them. But a good bourbon does great. I'm telling you, especially with the hot dark ale or the hot Cabernets. Eat a piece of the jerky, sip that whiskey. It's almost going to give it a pop, almost a velvety hot pop to it. It is incredible.
Okay. And I think we should sample some of this great product.
So this is start out with the IPA jerky, marinated not by hours but by a pH level. All beer and all wine have a different sugar content. When that pH drops down, we know all that natural sugar, all that natural goodness did its job.
Okay.
This is our IPA jerky here. When we use a double hop IPA, so the finish on this will almost have like a little bittersweet to it. That's the hops coming through. We use a double hop IPA in all our products for our IPA jerky.
Okay.
Now on the next one, we have the hot dark ale. We dubbed this one as our man cave jerky. Our man cave jerky is done with a blend of 3 big, bold, nutty dark ales. Each one has that different molasses and sugar to it. That molasses holds on to that hardwood smoke, which is Hood River cherry wood, and it almost gives it a nutty, kind of woodsy kind of taste with a little kick to it. There you go.
Now, did you have any thoughts on the last jerky?
It was really good, just nice and sweet, the way a jerky should be. It was really good. Just that pure jerky flavor.
Not too spicy, kind of mild.
Yep, and it's all about the natural sugars. And I'm telling you, the flavors come right with that sugars. Now on the flip side of it here, we have a Oregon Pinot Noir. The Oregon Pinot done with world-class Pinots right from the Willamette Valley.
Now that dark ale was the one you said was a man cave jerky. That was a little spicier.
Yeah, I tell you what, you open up a bag of this, open up a growler, that's commitment for both of them without the ring.
All right, so the thing I'm about to taste, you're tasting now. What do you think?
This one's good. It's kind of like the first one, but not as sweet, but more of that savory flavor. Really good turkey flavor.
Okay.
I give it an A+.
We take a lot of pride to what goes into each of these bags. A little bit of Northwest love in the bag.
Yeah, I got to finish up. Reviewing and it's hard to talk and consume. Where is it that people can find your product?
We're mostly in Oregon right now, unfortunately. We just started launched out up here in Washington with the Washington Wine Country Jerky. We have Washington Cab and Hot Cab. We can get it made in Oregon, new seasons, or on our website, nwbhjerky.com.
Okay. And the final question of every interview, what is the nerdiest thing about you?
I love my mouse.
Your computer mouse?
I love my computer mouse.
What is it about your computer mouse you love?
It fits in my hand. I got an oversized one.
Nice. A man who is particular about his computer mouse. It's been great speaking with you, sir, and we hope to see your product up here soon.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. Do you have a sample of the hot one?
All right, hey everybody, Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're still here at Proof of Washington. We are sitting in front of Headframe Spirits, and they're about to tell us about Never Sweat Bourbon Whiskey.
All right, excellent.
And you look kind of familiar.
Yeah, so we were over at the ChocMo booth earlier there talking about the couple of the other products, but yeah, so we're here with Headframe.
So what's the connection between the two companies?
So we have ChocMo, which is our restaurant and chocolate shop in Paulsbo, and we've kind of first discovered Headframe and brought them into the state of Washington, and that a couple of years ago, and then now we've started another company that's their distributor here for Washington. So we're here representing Headframe and showing off their products here today as well.
Okay, so this is not necessarily distilled locally.
No, Headframe's out of Butte, Montana.
Okay.
Yeah. So
almost northwest.
Yeah, pretty close. It's western Montana. It's practically next door.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So now what can we expect from, what are we about to consume?
So you're about to try the Never Sweat Bourbon Whiskey from Headframe Spirits. So Headframe makes all of their products on a continuous distillation still that they've actually designed, manufactured, and sell to other distilleries as well. So they just got written up in Popular Mechanics, and they did a big write-up on their stills and how their products are made and that kind of thing, and kind of a really unique continuous distillation process in a micro still capacity. So some really cool products, and the Never Sweat is one of my favorites, especially to use in an old-fashioned or make a Manhattan out of or that kind of thing.
Now a bourbon is usually about 2 years. How long did this sit in the cask?
I actually, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the specific aging is on the Never Sweat.
Okay. And where can people get a hold of it?
As far as in Washington here?
Yeah.
So it's available throughout Washington at select retailers so far and a number of restaurants. So we're working on getting it out in more places. So if folks can't find it where they are, they should send us a message and we'll help them with that and go into their local retailer and request that they bring it in. So we can definitely make that available. So High Spirits over in Paulsbo and Downtown Spirits here in downtown Seattle would be a couple of good places to start as far as right in this area.
Okay. And did you say what the proof is on this?
80 proof.
80 proof, okay. That explains it. It was a little mild, and it was a little mild, I'd say, the whole way through.
Yeah, a little mild. It was weird the way it hit my tongue. Like it started at the front and then moved to the back of my tongue and then like spread out. It was really cool, actually, the way it worked like that. But yeah, mild, good flavor, great whiskey.
Maybe a good relaxing whiskey after maybe a good day's work. Nothing too brutal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks for trying.
More of an everyday whiskey.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, did you answer the question on the last one?
I did not answer the question.
Okay, so the question for you now: what is the nerdiest thing about you?
Probably that I look at different distillation equipment and like to nose different whiskeys and imagine different parts of the process and have taken kind of some extensive nosing classes and that kind of thing on different whiskeys, and that's kind of really my favorite category.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we are sitting in front of Black Sam Distillery at Proof of Washington for the next interview for Nerds Drink Whiskey. We're speaking with Bob of Black Sam. Could you tell us a little bit about what we're about to sample?
Well, what you're going to sample is our bourbon mash whiskey. It's got a 70% corn, 20% rye, and 10% malted barley. It's done on a single run in a 4-plate pot still. We filter basically before we go in the barrels, and we filter 4 times through activated charcoal and coconut to give it that smoothness. It's always distilled on the beer, not on the grain. So that gives it the smoothness, and I think you're really going to like it.
And how long did you say this stayed in the barrel?
This has been in the barrel for 3 years. And when we basically made it, we weren't really sure how it was going to turn out, and it turned out fabulous. Basically, I'd like you to try it and see what you think for yourself.
Okay, let's try it up.
Pirate, Samuel Bellamy, Black Sam. And he basically went down off the coast, or off of Cape Cod back in about the 1700s. They found his ship, I think, in 1984. So that's where the company came from, and that's where the heritage is from.
Now, what proof did you say this is?
This is 80 proof.
This is only 80 proof. This has a bite more like a 90.
Nope, it's an 80 proof.
All right. What's your thoughts so far?
I thought it actually had a little less of a bite than 80 proof. Tell you the truth, yeah.
Really? It was a little more mild.
Yeah, I was thinking so, yeah. But it's good. I enjoy it.
Take another sip.
Yeah, let's. Could be because I've had so much to drink tonight.
Well, you know, actually the second one went down a lot, totally smooth.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it's definitely a whiskey that maybe as you slow sip it all night, it kind of changes with your palate, you think.
Yeah, and I also have something else here that you might want to try. I have basically about a year-aged whiskey. It's been on the toasted barrels. And if you'd like to try that, let's go for that.
What do you think? I think we got time. Our floor manager isn't yelling at us yet. We have a great floor manager that's keeping our time really well.
This is basically a light whiskey made at a higher proof. I recommend you pour it over rocks. Just sit around, sipping whiskey.
Okay.
All right.
One that's not going to break up the bank either.
What's the price on a fifth?
The wholesale price on this is about $15.
That is not bad. And where can people get that?
They can only buy it from my distillery in Montesano.
And you said that's a higher proof.
It was made from a higher proof. This was made at about 169. That's where it started at.
All right. Now the final question. Before the final question, do you have any final words on their product?
No final questions. This last one, especially for the price, it's a great sipping whiskey. Just nice, good price. If you go through a lot of whiskey, I definitely recommend it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe a competitor for our current favorite cheap whiskey, which is Rebel Yell. So that's our favorite cheap whiskey is Rebel Yell right now. So
we try to keep the price down on this for the guy who's got $20 in his pocket, wants to go out for the evening a couple times a week. He can afford it, doesn't break the bank, and everything's good.
All right. So our final question of the evening. What is the nerdiest thing about you?
That I really don't drink that much.
I don't know about nerdy, but that is a secret. Now, a lot of people think we do a whiskey podcast, and people are shocked to find out that I, at the most, will drink a shot or two of whiskey per night at the end of the workday.
I bet I don't do that a month.
But yet you make barrels and barrels of it.
That's right, I do.
Shocking tales on Nerds Drink Whiskey. Thank you very much for your time, sir.